Hello everyone, this is Carrie from Celestial Forecasts with another reading for the collective. If you've been guided to this particular one, I'll be focusing on the question, why is there no contact? So taking a look at the situation, why you haven't heard from this individual, or have they already moved on? Let's go ahead and take a look at that energy and see what needs to present itself here. And hopefully I'll be able to tap into your situation and offer you some guidance. General advice as always, guys, so please do keep that in mind throughout the reading and only take the parts of it that do resonate for you and release the rest. I'll be focusing on these three decks here. The Grande Amore deck is by Maria of Mystic Rainco, and then the middle deck here is the 5D Love Messages by Calico Moon. And lastly, I'll go ahead and clarify everything with my tarot deck, the Valentine Connection Tarot. All right, guys, let's get into some messages here. Hi there, Taurus. All right, guys, let's see what needs to come through for your reading here. Why is there no contact? And ultimately, doing a check-in for the person that you're thinking about. Have they moved on, or are they still very much focused on what the two of you have or had? So let's see. For Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, we are starting off with Raven, Messenger, Omen, Incoming News. Okay, so even though at this point in time that you might be listening to this, you're wondering, will I ever hear from this person again? And maybe you're not even receiving any sort of sign that that's going to happen. But I feel with this card coming through, you might just be surprised that there could be some form of communication that's coming in. All right, two more cards decided to come through. We have Game Plan, Making Precise Moves, Strategy. So that's actually pretty positive. Let me take a look at the next card that came through with it. We have Abandoned. Okay, Feeling Isolated and Despair. That could be a contributing factor as to why they are not reaching out, because right now they're in the planning stages. Now, if you relate to this, Taurus, it could have been you that decided to check out of the connection. Maybe they do feel that you abandoned them. It could be the other way around as well, or you're both feeling isolated from each other. But I do feel, since we're focusing on whoever it is you're thinking about and why there is no contact, I feel eventually there will be. So it clearly is indicating to us that right now they're more focused on thinking of a particular plan as to when this might be able to happen. All right, let me grab one more for Taurus. We have Unlikable, Feeling Unwanted or Unloved, Neglected. Okay, so maybe the last time you guys spoke or had an interaction, in however way that is coming through, you know, maybe you really conveyed to them that you didn't approve of something that they said or did, and they ultimately felt like you weren't into them anymore, you know? So let's go ahead and grab some words to go along with this. But ultimately, from these four cards, I'm already feeling that there will eventually be communication coming from this person. It could be through social media. It could be a text. I'm kind of feeling Instagram or Facebook for some of you guys. Maybe that's how you guys connected and spoke, you know, so maybe that's something that you have looked forward to in the past, where you just see that notification on your phone and you know it's this person wanting to talk. All right, so let's go ahead and see. Let's grab some words to go along with this. And these messages are coming from their 5D self and what it is that they need to communicate to you, since we are focusing on connections that are in no contact in the 3D. So they're wanting to communicate eventually. And maybe they really do feel like you've just checked out, you no longer want them. That could be this feeling of despair that we're seeing through these cards, okay? Let's grab some words. What it is that they wish to say to you from their 5D self, okay? Look at this, guys. All right, so they still believe that you guys are meant to be together. So I'm feeling that, considering eventually there will be incoming news from this person. They're just trying to formulate exactly when. Okay, I'm spying on you. So maybe they are stalking you on your social media pages, or asking about you, perhaps through mutual friends. Maybe you don't even know that they're stalking you or spying on you. I'm getting this as well, that they either walk by or drive by where you live just to see if you're home. That's not for everybody, of course. I'm just picking up that energy, that vibe. Let's see what else. What do they want to say to you? Okay, I won't be able to keep myself from reaching out much longer. Exactly. That makes sense, Taurus. You know, considering the messages we're seeing, incoming news, messenger, omen, coming up with a game plan as to when this can happen. Okay, and bottom of the deck, I still have hope that we will be together. They really believe this, Taurus. So if you're on the same page and hoping to be back together with this person, despite the fact that you guys aren't speaking right now, maybe this is giving you hope that that can actually happen. So let's go ahead and grab some tarot to see if it coincides with what we are seeing here. Angels and spirit guides, please, for Taurus. All right, so we have a really good perspective as to what's going on here. All right, Divine Feminine, we've got the energy of the High Priestess coming through. So even though your masculine might not be reaching out at this point in time, I feel you're either picking up off of their vibe, their energy. You're feeling like something is about to come in by way of communication. This is the next card. We've got the Nine of Cups, you know, so maybe the two of you really are wishing to be back in each other's lives, wishing to connect, wishing to speak, but right now that's not happening because, again, they're, as it says, making precise moves, strategy. We're seeing that from the game plan card, right? So they're getting ready. Could be sooner rather than later. All right, let's see what else. All right, check this out. We've got the Hierophant, and that is followed by the Empress. Now, what makes this so interesting for a Taurus reading is both of these cards do represent Taurus energy. So I feel, Divine Feminine, if your masculine had commitment issues, that could be what it is that you're hoping for and wishing for. You know, for them to communicate that they're all in, that they're 100% committed and devoted. All right, some of you guys might have experienced some challenges there. Look how beautiful this is. So we've got the Four of Wands. It's giving you guys the opportunity really to rebuild a much stronger foundation for your relationship. I got to really figure out a different way of doing this because I'm picking up off of a glare. Hold on one second, guys. Okay. And so possible twin flames for some of you. Okay. Take that, obviously, if it makes sense. And ultimately, the Four of Wands can represent a much stronger foundation here for the connection. Possible marriage, certainly a reconciliation, that's coming through. Some of you guys could also be thinking of a Scorpio here. The Death card represents some sort of transformation, a transition. So if you guys were to try again, if you guys were to get back in contact and reconcile, I feel the old way of how you guys were connecting and interacting with each other, there's something there that needs to shift and change. Some of you guys might have talked about starting a family, or maybe you guys already had children together or a child together. I'm feeling part of the reason for the separation could be that you guys were just not in agreement. You know, one of you might have been more ready for long-term commitment. Maybe you guys talked about marriage and, you know, maybe the other person just wasn't ready. So that could have been the masculine. I do feel the possibility, though, through this transition, you guys have a chance at coming back much stronger than how you were before. Let's see what else here. Look at this, guys. All right. We've got the Emperor. So Emperor and Empress right next to each other, masculine and feminine reunite. I feel in time, Divine Feminine, you might hear from your masculine to let you know that they really have thought long and hard about this. And I mean, going back to the messages from the 5D self, right? We are meant to be together. I still have hope that we will be together. That's what they're thinking. That's what they're focused on. And, you know, maybe they're not saying it in the 3D right now, but they certainly are thinking it. And that's part of the energy that's coming through in this reading. So for this reading, Taurus, if you're thinking about your person, missing them, even though you guys aren't talking or interacting right now, I do feel the possibility that sooner rather than later, they will communicate and let you know that they still very much want to be a part of your life. And if you're wondering, you know, have they moved on with other people? I really don't feel they have. I feel they see something very special in you and they're wanting that back. Okay, so if you are interested in your own reading, guys, that info is down below in the description box. I'll link all of the decks as well. Thank you so much. I hope that resonated, and I'll see you guys next time.